I just want to always maintain my poise, and just not even let everyone get that access, like, because that's me giving them my energy.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Heartfelt Clubhouse. I am joined with our man of the bunch. We are going to do our wrap-up session. Keith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Feeling good. How about yourself?
I am doing pretty well. It's actually kind of cold out here in Cali, which I'm not used to. But otherwise, I'm doing really well. I'm happy to finally connect with you and hear about how some of your most recent sessions went.
I mean, I think the way our episodes kind of went, I was kind of finished early, like before. So like, I never did a session after our last recording.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you hopped in and you were doing a one-on-one therapy session with your actual therapist. And I believe you were matched with a woman, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I know that within the time that you had a therapy session, you were going to the next one, you actually were able to hop in on a group therapy session.
Yes, I was.
Super cool. So how did you kind of get put in that group therapy session?
Basically, all you have to do, like within the app, I was just exploring it because they have like so many different options, different layers and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. I was exploring it and they had like literally different groups that you can join for almost anything. It was like depression, anxiety, like trying to train your thought process, literally almost anything you could think of. There was a different group for it that you could join, like on a little Zoom call. And you would know like ahead of time, at least like maybe 3 to 5 days ahead, or you could join it within a day before. But so I decided to just click one of those and I went on. I didn't know what to expect at all. It turned out to be like a Zoom call where, I mean, it was just whoever decided they wanted to get on, it was people from all over. It wasn't like any prerequisites or anything for the class. It was just if you want to join, you could. So, I mean, it was a pretty great experience. I got to sit on a class with a lot of different people from all over the world, different countries and everything. And just, we all, I mean, grew together.
That's really cool. And did you end up talking on that session or were you more just listening?
I thought about talking, but then I was like, I'm gonna just listen this time. But it was still pretty good.
Nice.
I wish I had spoken, but I didn't.
Yeah. So was there like, if you were kind of inclined to speak, was there stuff that you resonated with as well?
Yes. Basically, you would be able to be like, the therapist was talking about a different type of activity we were doing, and she was like, basically, she was looking for a few volunteers that she can go through it with. So like the 2 or 3 people who did volunteer, they went through it with her as the example, but also like as a lesson. So the other people were able to just write down like the questions and stuff and still be able to pursue everything as if we did it ourselves.
Wow, that's super cool. Yeah. So do you think if you like continued with therapy, do you think you would want to do maybe group sessions or do you like the one-on-one style?
Honestly, I like both. Just mix it in. I mean, you have the opportunity to do both as well. You can do as many group sessions as you want. So people wouldn't even have to worry about trying to pick and choose. They could just do both.
So did you kind of know about group sessions prior to going through the app, or was that kind of new to you?
It was new. It was pretty new.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I feel like especially for, maybe what you were going to therapy to discuss, a group session could be super beneficial for you.
It definitely could.
Nice.
Yeah.
So with regard to kind of what you brought into therapy, a lot of people kind of have this theory that to enter therapy, it has to be like some crazy trauma or you have to be super depressed. But the reality is you can go to therapy for anything, right? So anything that you kind of need guidance for. And to an extent, that's kind of what brought you here, right? You wanted to kind of wrap some things up and better understand how to move through a situation, correct?
Yes.
And do you feel like that was kind of accomplished with you and your therapist?
Yes, I feel like it was. And she also gave me like some things I could look at and do for even after the therapy. That way I can still, because nothing's gonna be like an overnight type of decision. It's gonna take a little time. So she definitely gave stuff I could have done after that as well, so I can continue.
So have you been able to apply that going forward?
Yes, I have. Well, I've been trying to. It's hard to break old habits, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's super exciting. I mean, that's good that you're even trying, because like you said, it really is something that you have to, it's like going to the gym, right? You have to do it consistently to like see results. Otherwise, it's just kind of not pointless, but kind of pointless. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely right.
So I know that you had actually brought up to your friends, like, hey, I'm gonna go hop on this therapy session. Did they ever circle back and kind of be like, hey, how's that going? Or like, was that a discussion?
They actually didn't. They just left it alone, I guess. Really, we haven't spoke about it since.
How would you feel speaking about it with them?
I never really thought about it. I guess I just felt like I don't know. Like if it's meant to be, they would have asked. If not, just keep going. I don't know.
You guys
I
can't
never.
see
I didn't
this,
think
but
about it.
Keith is smiling so big. Why are you smiling so hard?
Oh no.
Just the thought of them like asking you.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so did you overall like enjoy using BetterHelp as your therapy app?
I did. I definitely enjoyed it. It would be something I would even do again.
Do you think it's going to be like something that when you do use in the future, that maybe you kind of use a little bit more long term, or do you like how you did it in sessions? So like she kind of sat you down and was like, here's how many sessions I think we might need for this.
Mhm.
Do you think you'd want to do more sessions or
I think I'll probably do more because I actually enjoyed it and look forward to it. Like it's definitely if like you somebody who can like afford to do it, something you should do and you probably enjoy doing. Like
yeah.
I like it genuinely.
Yeah. So our last our man of the month for August, his name was Grant. He actually like got so close with his therapist. They actually ended up meeting in person to do a therapy session.
Wow.
So is that something you kind of were able to feel as well, like a connection to your therapist?
I did feel a great connection to my therapist, definitely. I mean, I felt like everything was genuine. I did feel like she was somebody that I knew for a long time. And well, when I do it again, I'm definitely gonna just continue with her.
Yeah, that's so cool because like I feel like a lot of people think, okay, I'm doing therapy, I'm doing it through an app, so it's going to be even more strange to talk to this person. But it's like a situation where you're talking about such genuine stuff. It's kind of hard not to feel how much that person cares about you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Keith, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes. And so we actually, since we're wrapping up, we actually, allowed space for the holidays and everything. Was there kind of a time during the holidays that you were like, wow, I would have reacted this way, but having done therapy, I'm kind of feeling like I'm reacting differently?
Honestly, there were times I wish I would have, but honestly, a lot of times I still kind of been falling into the same habit a little bit and then catching myself after.
Hey, that's still progress.
Yeah. So now we're working on just, catching it before. I mean, there is sometimes I have been, reacting differently and stuff. I guess I ain't giving myself enough credit.
And like you said, it's gonna take time. So even just you noticing after the fact, like, oh shit, I probably should have reacted differently. That's still like huge,
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, and going back to the group session that you did, so you said there were people from all over the world, right?
Mhm. It
That's
wasn't like super packed with a lot of people, but everybody was from a totally different part. Like,
that's really interesting because then it's like, okay, no matter what country or culture you're in, everyone still,
have
has,
the same problems.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably really interesting to kind of see someone who, maybe doesn't look like you and doesn't speak like you, but has the same feelings as you, right?
Mhm.
So how did you go about like closing out your time with therapy?
Honestly, was not necessarily paying attention to the timing or everything was happening so fast. Like I thought I was gonna have another session, but I didn't. So we didn't like close it out. We just did like, okay, we thought we were gonna see each other, and then we didn't see each other type of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So on the last session, what was kind of the main focus point then?
We were just, I mean, we did. It was good because we were talking about stuff that I can do for after the stuff, but we just didn't know that was gonna be our last time. Yeah.
And what are some of the techniques that you can use or you're supposed to be implementing?
Just how to, diffuse the situation or not always be defensive, and to just sometimes just let people win. I have a problem with win. I like to win all the time. I'm super competitive, and that's a problem.
So how did that feel when she was telling you you're gonna have to let people win?
I just gotta figure out a way. So I can't just, I wouldn't be able to just dominate everyone or everybody. Certain people just be mad at me, leave people bitter and stuff. So something that I had to do.
That's awesome that she kind of helped you come to that realization.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, aside from just, kind of being able to acknowledge those situations, do you have any homework? Like, is there an expectation or things you're supposed to be doing right now?
It wasn't super specific. It was just more of note to self type of things, to be self-conscious of what I'm doing and things like that.
Yeah.
So I guess that is the concrete thing, to be more self-conscious.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're doing that, even if it's in retrospect, you're getting there, you're doing your homework.
Yeah.
Looking into the future, how would you want King Keith to act in those situations? Like, what is your desire to get out of these techniques and therapy and everything?
I just want to always maintain my poise, and just not even let everyone get that access, because that's me giving them my energy and stuff. I could just go on about my day and I don't even have to finish the conversation.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really good point. And when you were growing up, was that kind of, something you struggled with as well?
I would say so, yes.
Did you talk about mental health when you were growing up?
No, I didn't talk about any of these things.
So maybe therapy was one of the first times you've gotten to talk about this?
Yeah. I never really opened up about anything really ever.
Was that just because, maybe you didn't have the space to?
Personally, that was never my thing, never something I wanted to do. I'm always an observer, so I didn't never want to just put my business out to anybody, not even my own family, or I just keep stuff to myself. I like to treat everything as if I'm on my own, but I know that's not necessarily the best thing. But
so I know we had touched on, just how you and I were a new generation, and that's why it's we are kind of more willing to step into therapy and discuss therapy. Why do you think it's important for us and for younger generations to really step into therapy?
Honestly, I feel like there's too many things, you can't even count how much stuff that's not getting talked about in everybody's household. So a lot of stuff is getting swept under the rug. A lot of our parents' toxic traits are being passed down, things like that. It's a whole bunch of subliminal stuff that a lot of people don't notice. That people should go talk about that. And once you talk about it, you get over that and you'll be able to live your adult life differently.
Yeah. So really just breaking those cycles for the younger generation so they can honestly have a healthier life than even what we're having, right?
100%.
So do you think as you go forward, are you going to discuss mental health with your family and with your younger generations and your kids and everything?
I definitely will. Definitely.
How do you think you'll start those conversations?
I think the only way to even have any of these type of conversations is just to be straightforward, and don't beat around the bush, because these things are normal. These things, I feel it's something that everybody has to know.
King Keith dropping the bombs on us. I love it. Okay, so how would you rate your time, like literally from start to finish, like getting the app downloaded, going through the process, getting matched, all of that? How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say it's a 9.
Nice.
Yeah. It would have been a 10 if I was just more on point. But besides that, everything was a 9.
Yeah, I know it was definitely like kind of a crazy time to start therapy, right? So like November to December, that's holiday season. That's mayhem, like that's families everywhere. So yeah, you definitely hopped in at kind of a hectic time. And your schedule is crazy to begin with. Like you're all over the place.
Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah, people steady calling me and stuff. I just decline. I'm like, okay. Like it's literally every day. Like I don't know, it's all over the place, like you said. All over Houston.
Seriously, you're everywhere. Well, that's great. I'm so glad that it was such a positive experience for you. The audience could take away anything from this podcast. What is the one sentence you would want them to take away?
There's nothing wrong with therapy. If it even crossed your mind that you wanted to go.
Yes, sure. I think we're at a good stopping point. I think it's a great time to wrap up. Let's do a quick call to action. My call to action is to impact the younger generation. So whether it's your cousin, whether it's your children, whether it's, your niece and nephew, whatever, I want you to go ask them how they are and kind of help them start labeling emotions and just getting into those discussions. Because like you said, we got to start them young and we got to start them transparently.
I actually like that one. I really like that one. I'm going to piggyback off of that and say, not only like talk to the kids and teenagers and stuff, but give them like a positive influence, because there's a lot of times in my life, even when I thought back, and I'm like, man, like there's no way if I was this person in my life that I would have allowed me to do things or even persuaded me to do certain things a different way. Like there's no point. So go talk to the younger generation and persuade them to do good things and push them in the right direction.
Yes, Keith. I love that. Lead by example, guys. That's fantastic. All right, 2-hour December Man of the Month. Thank you so much for joining us in the Heartfelt Clubhouse.
Well, I've been more than thankful for the whole experience.
And thank you so much. Don't forget to go out there and be more heartfelt.
As always, if you or someone you know is in crisis, to speak with someone immediately, contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-2855. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Contact Lifeline Crisis Chat or contact the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, at 1-800-950-6264, or text NAMI, NAMI, to 741741. Thank you, and don't forget to be more heartfelt.